what's up you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So a lot of players are still confused about which Pokemon to use, the IVs they need to have, and which moveset is going to be useful for PvP. So in this video, I'm going to break down all the meta Pokemons with the movesets, IVs, some basic strategy, so you guys can just jump straight into PvP and start kicking some ass. Well, not all the meta, just the ones you're going to see most often in PvP. If you're new to my channel, my name is Tong, aka The Last Hot Sauce. I do all things related to Pokemon Go news, tips, tricks, vlogs, and I also sell hot sauce, aka The Last Hot Sauce. Check out my website if you're interested, and it would be a great way to support my channel. By kicking off this list is Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn is a grass and steel type. Check out the resistance and check out the weakness right here. Yeah, a lot of resistance. That's why people use dual type Pokemon. This Pokemon is particularly useful against Wishcast, Azumarill, Swampert, all kinds of Pokemon. So the moves that you want to have is Vine Whip, Power Whip, and then Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt is going to be used to be anti-air to like counter against Skarmory and Altaria. The only thing you have to worry about is fighting type and fire type. Alright, next up is Probopass. I love this Pokemon to start off with because it's an anti-air and it can hit Thunderbolt before Azumarill can hit Hydro Pump. As for the IV, you can check out here. I always prioritize HP and I always make sure that the CP hits 1500, at least the closest to 1500 possible with the highest HP, which is 15. Next up is Umbreon. Umbreon is a tank. It's a dark type Pokemon. Only weakness is Fairy, Bug, and Fighting. You want to have Last Resort, particularly because if you go against a Azumarill or a Toxicroak, Foul Play is not going to do that much damage. So Last Resort is going to be like your #1 priority to use against a Azumarill or a Toxicroak. As for IVs, you can check it out here. It's not the best. I normally want to prioritize HP, but this is the best one that I can get up to 1500 CP. If you can find a better IV EV, wait for December to get Last Resort. Stunfish. This right here you're going to see a lot. Because it has Mud Shot and Mud Bomb, it can take down a lot of tanks. This one particularly is useful for like an anti-Skarmory. As far as like discharge, it doesn't do too much damage against Altaria. It won't last against Altaria, but it will do some damage against Azumarill. Alright, next up is Cresselia. This one you particularly need Grass Knot. If you don't have one, I wouldn't suggest you using it. This Cresselia is for my Ultra League because it's the only one I have with Grass Knot. But if you are able to get one in Great League, you want to have Moonblast and Grass Knot. Moonblast is to handle like just generally every single Pokemon, and Grass Knot to handle like water, ground, and rock type Pokemons. Don't use Aurora Beam because Aurora Beam is weak. It is a tank though. It can take a lot of hits. That's what I like about Cresselia the most. But in general, if you don't have Grass Knot, don't use it. Alright, next up is the tank. The biggest tank will be in like 70 to like 80% of the teams in PvP. Azumarill is a must-have Ice Beam for sure to handle any kind of grass type. And it's your choice to have either Play Rough or Hydro Pump. I particularly have Hydro Pump right now just because if I go against like any kind of tanks, I can take it out. Because if I have Play Rough, is not the best really. You know, I'm pretty much useless against tanks. But Play Rough is something you need to consider because if you go against another Azumarill, the only way you can win is by having Play Rough. Because Ice Beam and Hydro Pump is not going to do enough damage quick enough against another Azumarill. So keep that in mind. IV is not super spectacular. I could find a better one, but it's a shiny, so I'm like, alright, why not? You know, whatever. It gets up to like $14.99. Next up is Swifttree. Swifttree, ooh, it is a beast. It is super like glassy, but with Snarl and Foul Play and Leaf Blade, ooh, it reaches up the charge move super fast. Leaf Blade, like 2 seconds. You can take down Azumarill really fast. Any kind of mud or water type Pokemon, psychic Pokemon of course, you know. I like this even if you go against like say an air type Pokemon. Foul Play would do some damage against a Altaria or a Skarmory. It will knock out like half the HP. It's weak against fighting, ice, which is what you're going to encounter the most. Ice and fighting. So FYI, super glassy, but it does a lot of damage really fast. So keep this in your arsenal for sure. You need really good IVs too because Swifttree is just a glass. But again, if you use it properly, you can do a lot of damage to your opponent. Okay, next up is Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff, you want to have good IVs for sure because Wigglytuff is meant to be a tank. It's meant to be only used for like fast move. You're not going to be using Play Rough or Ice Beam. You probably use it like one time in a round because Charm does a lot of damage. Wigglytuff is a tank. Its only weakness is poison and steel type, so just watch out for that. and just pretty much just beat the shit out of them. Alright, next up is Toxicroak. Because it's fighting and poison type, it doesn't take that much damage from fighting type Pokemon. You need good IVs with this because it is a glass cannon. It does a lot of damage. For me, I don't have the best IVs. Like I said, I have what I have and I make the best out of it. Yeah, I could find better ones, but it's not good. You know, I haven't found a better one really, to be honest. I guess I haven't looked. I haven't really checked. But you want to have Counter, Mud Bomb, and Sludge Bomb. The biggest weakness you're going to encounter is that it's weak against ground type Pokemon, which there will be a lot of ground type Pokemon. So a Mud Bomb will take this out, you know, and it's weak against flying as well. So you can maybe get off a Sludge Bomb against Altaria. For a Skarmory, just do like this quick attack with Counter and then switch out. Sludge Bomb charges up really fast with Counter, and it can hit Azumarill faster than Azumarill can charge up its charge move. Of course, it takes down any tanks. Mastodon, Registeel doesn't stand a chance. This has saved me a lot actually against like grass type Pokemon. Next up is Meganium. Meganium is the strongest grass type in PvP for Great League. It can withstand a Ice Beam from Azumarill. It does a lot of damage. Grass type Pokemon just covers all around. You guys all know what grass type Pokemon use. If you don't have Frenzy Plant, don't use it. IV wise, check out my IVs. It got closest to 1497. The only problem is that it just gets destroyed by any kind of air type Pokemon. Alright, next up is Noctowl. Noctowl is an air type Pokemon that you don't see too often. But what I like about Noctowl is that it's a tank. It has Wing Attack, which is the best flying fast attack in the game. And then it charges up to Sky Attack really fast. And so like if you had to go against a Cherrim, which you'll see a lot, Cherrim is super annoying because it could take down a Skarmory and it's gonna do some damage to Altaria. But with Noctowl can take the hits. It can take like, I think at least 2 Solar Beams straight up. So you don't need to block an attack against like any kind of grass type Pokemon really. Just watch out for ice type Pokemon like Abomasnow. But in general, it charges up super fast. It has 171 HP. Noctowl can take the hits. Like I like Noctowl, it's great. See, okay, now we're moving on to Haunter. Haunter, you're gonna see this for like the advanced PvP. You want to have great IVs. Check out my IVs right here. I prioritize HP. It has the highest HP from all the Haunters I found, 105 HP. You need it because Haunter is a glass cannon. You want to have Shadow Claw, Shadow Punch, and Shadow Ball. So with Haunter, Shadow Claw, you want to build up pass beyond Shadow Punch up to Shadow Ball. Afterwards, you're just playing mind games with your opponent. Are you going to use a Shadow Punch or Shadow Ball? Your opponent doesn't know. I normally like to shield bait with Shadow Punch and then hit them with a Shadow Ball. You can like, you know, gamble for a Shadow Ball sometimes, but it is gambling with a lot of energy. You are going to most likely use 1 shield because your opponent will be able to get to 1 attack at least before you can like charge up enough energy to play mind games with your opponent. It's great against Sidekick, Azumarill of course. Skarmory particularly because Shadow Claw, it just chomps at it. I use it for a starter. Some people use this at the end, but you need shields to back this up. If you don't have shields to back it up, then you better hit it fast. But I normally use this for a starter to play mind games in general. Alrighty, on to one of the top metas in the game. Altaria. It's a dragon flying type. It's a dragon that you want in Great League. It's a tank. It burns down a lot of Pokemon. It has amazing stats. But it has a lot of natural enemies like Azumarill, Registeel, Lapras, a lot of electric types, Mastodon too. But it's really strong though. other than like the natural counters for it, it will burn down any other Pokemon. It's a must-have in your arsenal actually. It's a must-have. But because there's so many counters in the game for Altaria, I'm hesitant to use it a lot of times. I want to use it. I have a great one. But you just have to watch out for Azumarill because 70% of like people's teams has the Azumarill. I'm always like really surprised when I don't have to like deal with Azumarill on a team. So that's like the #1 reason why I don't use Altaria. But you know, the next best thing is Skarmory. Next up is Skarmory. His only weakness is fire and electric type. So watch out for Stunfish. Ferrothorn will take this down. So people use a Skarmory to be like an anti-Altaria because Altaria will take a lot of damage from Sky Attack, whereas Skarmory will not. Altaria's greatest weakness is Ice, which you'll see a lot of Azumarill, so you don't have to worry about it going down with 1 hit with Azumarill. That's basically why people use Skarmory. People have been using Brave Bird instead of Flash Cannon lately, so watch out for that. I'm still sticking with Flash Cannon for some stupid reason. I should really switch this out to Brave Bird. Brave Bird is a useful attack if you're going to go like head-to-head against a Skarmory. It's a surprise attack. But the only problem is that it will decrease your defense immediately. So if you do use it, you know, you're either going to prepare to die or you have to switch out right away. It's a great Pokemon because it can withstand a lot of damage from a lot of different type of Pokemon. All right, next up is a freaking annoying one. So people have been using the Shadow Victreebel as like a quick attack with Razor Leaf because Shadow Pokemon are higher in attack stats. Oh my god, and it's just so annoying when like someone switches out with Victreebel with Razor Leaf. And if you have a Shadow one, you just need Razor Leaf. You're not going to use a charge move because whatever Pokemon you take out really fast, the Pokemon that comes in is going to take you out really fast. So yeah, watch out for that. People normally switch in like really quick and just like, oh, just takes it out. I honestly hate people that use Shadow Victreebel. I hate you so much if you use it. I get my ass kicked so many times. Oh god, stupid Shadow Victreebel. If you want a Shadow Victreebel, you want to have the Super Rocket Radar to find Giovanni, and basically you go find the grunts, or at least the decoys, to get a Shadow Bellsprout. That's how you get them, FYI. Alright, next up is Shadow Zapdos. I recently got this from GoFest, and I switched out to Thundershock, which is like the best electric attack, Thunderbolt, and Drill Peck. It's a Shadow type, so it can do a lot of damage. Honestly, I haven't reached up to Thunderbolt because it dies out really fast. I normally use this for Drill Peck more than anything else, but Shadow Pokemon is going to do a lot of damage, and with Thundershock, it charges up Drill Peck really fast, and you're going to need a shield because it's a Shadow Pokemon. Shadow Pokemon dies out really fast, as you guys all probably know by now. The IV is not that great, but it does prioritize HP, which is what I like. Next up is Venusaur. Venusaur, you need to have Frenzy Plant and Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb will do a lot of damage, of course, to Flying type. Frenzy Plant, you need it against a Water type or a Ground type or a Rock type Pokemon. If you don't have Frenzy Plant, don't use it. What gives this an advantage over a Meganium? Well, I guess the difference between a Meganium and a Venusaur is that Meganium can survive an Ice Beam from Azumarill. Venusaur won't die out if you hit it with a Poison type. Meganium will be one shot with the Sludge Bomb from a Swampert. I've taken down Meganium with a Swampert with a Sludge Bomb. Okay, so the anti-air that people have been using a lot more nowadays is Alolan Stunfish because it has Mud Shot, Rock Slide. Rock Slide charges up super fast with Mud Shots, and Earthquake to cover the ground types. It's useful against anti-air, and it kind of go against like ground type. It doesn't do. It's basically it's useful for like anti-air basically because it doesn't take any damage from a Sky Attack, or yeah, it can survive against a Skarmory or Altaria. That's basically what it's useful for. But it will die out really fast against a Whiscash or a Swampert. It can survive 2 Shiftry Leaf Blades. But that's about it though. I don't have the best IVs for it too. A little FYI, check out the IVs. It's crappy, but it's the best one I found to get close up to 1495 CP. Pretty much this is an anti-air that everyone's using. So I always have a Swampert to counter against this. So next up is Swampert. Swampert is my favorite Pokemon in PvP because Mud Shot, Hydro Cannon charges up super duper fast. It hits really fast. Like, it covers a long range of Pokemon. Sludge Wave right away against a Azumarill to like surprise them. This is basically my anti-Azumarill, what I use it for mostly, and against a anti-Stunfish. Because it's ground and water type though, it will go down super fast against any kind of grass type Pokemon. But when I go against a Abomasnow, because Abomasnow knows ice and grass type attacks, Sludge Wave will surprise it. Like, I surprised so many people with Sludge Wave. I absolutely love Swampert for all 3 leagues. Get yourself a good Swampert. I got myself a great Swampert, 1495 CP, attacks 0, defense is like 3, and HP is 15 to maximize its health because it is somewhat of a glass cannon basically. If you were to go against a Skarmory, Hydro Cannon will charge up 1.5 charge move before Skarmory can use 1 air attack. So after 2 Air Slash, you can do 3 Hydro Cannon against a Skarmory. It'll take it down really fast. If you can hit a Shiftry with Sludge Wave, it will take down Shiftry. Good luck. It has happened to me, but it is pretty tough to like get out of Sludge Wave against a Shiftry. Like I said, I normally use this against an anti-Azumarill because Azumarill can only charge up to Ice Beam before I can charge up to my Sludge Wave, and I can hit my Sludge Wave before Azumarill can hit any kind of charge move. So you know, I'll be chill baiting the Azumarill the whole time. Alright, next up is Whiscash. Whiscash, I love it because it is a tank. It has 179 HP. For this one, it has really good IV. It has much Bomb and Blizzard. You're mainly going to be using this for Mud Bomb, and if you can surprise your opponent with Blizzard, yeah, it'll take down Altaria, take down Skarmory. It can Mud Bomb Azumarill down pretty, like about like 50% of HP for, you know, you get taken down. I haven't seen this too often lately because there's been so many grass type Pokemon in the game. It doesn't stand any chance against the grass type. Just one Leaf Blade, just done. But it is a tank if you don't go against a grass type Pokemon. Anything but a grass type Pokemon, you'll do good. It's great, you know, Mud Shot, Mud Bomb, of course, great for tanks. I love it. I prefer Swampert over Whiscash. It's not great for like anti-air. It has Blizzard, but it takes a little while to charge up the Blizzard. You can get it up there. I have gotten up there plenty of times, but it takes a little while to get to Blizzard. To talk about mythical Pokemon real fast, Celebi it's not useful at all in general. Mew, if you have a good IV one, of course have your 2 attacks, so you're gonna need a lot of Mew candy. It's your choice really to have which, you know, 2 charge move to use for Mew, because there's so many of them. But you know, it's your choice. But I want to focus on Jirachi because I used it a lot. I love Jirachi because it's a psychic and steel type Pokemon. Even though my IV is not the best, it still does a lot of damage because Doom Desire charges up really fast. It even does pretty well against a Bastodon. I normally force Bastodon to use at least 1 shield. Surprisingly, you know. But in general, if you do have a good Jirachi, the worst part about it is just because it's the only one you'll get. You can't trade for it. You can't change the IV. So if you do have a good Jirachi, awesome, you know. And the only thing you really have to worry about is just ground type Pokemon and fire type, which you don't see too often, you know. Alrighty, Lapras. You don't see Lapras too often anymore. You know, it's a great Pokemon in general. You don't see it too often, but you do occasionally see it, and you do have to deal with it. Of course, you want to use fighting type against it, grass type. Yeah, it's alright. It's alright. You don't see it too often though. Alright, move on to Beedrill. Beedrill is a new Pokemon that I don't see too often, but if you do use it, you want to have Poison Jab, Drill Run, which is the Community moveset, and you want to have Fell Stinger to charge up Poison Jab. You're not going to see it too often, but if you do have it, you want to have these 3 attacks. And you want to have this somewhat similar to the HP that I have, at least the IVs. Next up is Charizard. Charizard is it's a great fire type. It's the best fire type, but it's super weak. You need really good IVs. I powered up 2 Charizards already because the first one I powered up, the IV wasn't great. I was still learning about IVs. Then I found a better Charizard that was traded to me, and this is the best IV one that I have. You want to have Fire Spin, Blast Burn, and Dragon Claw. You can use Wing Attack. It charges up faster, but the main point of it is to use fire attacks. Yeah, I guess an anti-Altaria, I guess an anti-Skarmory is good too. You're gonna need some shields. You're gonna need some shields for Charizard. Of course, you want to use this against grass type Pokemon, but you don't see it too often. But Charizard does do some damage. It does surprise a lot of people. Like, people are just like, what? And you go against like a Registeel or like any kind of steel type Pokemon, like they're dead. Gone. Next up is Ugly Tarantula Electric Thingy. I forgot his name. It's kind of long. a Galvantula, but it recently just got Lunge, which is a beast. Like, I got my ass kicked for like a night. I'm just like, what's going on here? So you want to have Volt Switch, Discharge, and Lunge. Lunge will decrease your opponent's attack by 1 point. Of course, because it's a bug and electric type, its natural enemy is rock, or anything you want to use against an actual bug, like, you know, poison, or like, is it poison? No, fire type. Anyways, the weakness and everything is right here. It doesn't do too great against grass type. It's supposed to be a bug type, but like any kind of grass type attack will knock out like 50 to like 70% of its HP. So it's not the best against grass type. I mainly use this against like a Azumarill or Skarmory or Altaria. That's about it though. Rarely do I use it against like Dark type. I would like to use it against a Dark type, but I just haven't found that many opportunities. It's super glassy, but Volt Switch Discharge does a lot of damage in general, but you're gonna need a shield to use this. Marowak, it's your choice to have Hex or Fire Spin. Fire Spin will cover Skarmory, but that's about it. Hex will charge up Shadow Ball and Bone Club much faster. It's great because it's tanky. Biggest weakness, of course, is water, rock, and ground type Pokemon. It's great because it charges up Shadow Ball really fast, especially with Hex, with the recent increase of energy gain. But it's your choice. Bone Club is also your choice. You can also have that fire move that I don't remember what the name is. So you go against like a Skarmory or any type of grass type Pokemon. But I haven't used it too often because there's so many ground and rock type Pokemon in the game. But it's a good tank. It's a good tank in general. Alright, moving on to a Lucario. Lucario is a super glass. You gotta have counter, power punch to trick your opponents, and Shadow Ball. Because Lucario has a high attack stat, it does a lot of quick damage, but it needs a shield. At least 2 shields. If you go against a water, ground, or grass type, get out. Everything else, you can stick around to do some damage. So if you're gonna have this, depending on your team, you have to focus all your shield against a Lucario to stay alive. But if you can, it will just murder the team. But like I said, it's super glassy. It goes down from anything that's elemental in general. The only thing you don't have to worry about, well, I guess you have to worry about a psychic type too, because it does go down. It goes down against it's a super glass. Just use shield with Lucario, right? So if you're lucky to find Tropius is a great tank. I would suggest using Air Slash because if you use Razor Leaf, you do a lot of damage at first, but you don't ever you don't use the charge move that often. Some people do really well with Razor Leaf. I switch back and forth sometimes, but I've been on Air Slash lately because I like using the charge move a little bit faster. I use it against fighting type because it has Air Slash, so if you go against a Toxicroak. But watch out though, it does go down really fast with poison, so make sure you have a shield. There's a shield to protect it, you know? But in general, Tropius is a great tank. Hopefully if you're lucky to find somebody to trade you because it is a regional. Alright, moving on to Empoleon. Empoleon, you don't see it too often, but because of its high attack stat and Waterfall does a lot of damage, you're going to be using Drill Peck more often than anything else in Hydro Cannon. I am not going to go over this too much because I really don't see it being used a lot because it's weak against ground and fighting type Pokemon, which is pretty prevalent. And grass type Pokemon too, but it doesn't do a lot of quick damage because Waterfall and Hydro Cannon, it hurts. Drill Peck is used against fighting type Pokemon, so it helps counter against the fighting type a little bit, but it'll still go down really fast with a fighting type Pokemon. Alrighty, and Alolan Raichu is like a little nice glass cannon. It has Volt Switch. You want to have it with Grass Knot too. Definitely with Grass Knot to handle any kind of ground or water type Pokemon. And you want to have your choice between Thunder Punch or Wild Charge, because Wild Charge you can charge up for a little bit, and even though it decreases your defense, people normally charge up 2 Wild Charge, hit them one after the other, and then switch out, so your defense will return back to normal. I used to use it a lot, but there's other better Pokemons out there, so I don't really use it too often. It is kind of surprising sometimes when I deal with a Alolan Raichu with Psychic. You don't expect that too often, but it does get you sometimes. You just have to watch out for ground type Pokemon like Wishcast, Stunfish, any kind of ground type really. You want to avoid Mud Shot, Mud Bomb. Any kind of Pokemon with those kind of moves, gonna take you out in like one hit. I move on to the tanks of all tank, Bastodon, the bastard Bastodon. Bastodon I hate it so much because, well, unless you have the perfect counter like Mud Shot, fighting, water type Pokemon, Smackdown with Stone Edge and Flamethrower is gonna just take down a lot of Pokemon. It's a great shield. The downfall is that Smackdown takes a long time to charge up to Stone Edge and Flamethrower. It's a great tank. It's meant for only anti-air. Alright, next up, I have 2 types of Hypno. I have a Confusion Shadow Ball with Thunder Punch, and I have a Confusion Psyshock and Ice Punch. I use this interchangeably because I like Psyshock because it charges up really fast. Ice Punch, of course, is for flying type. I do switch out with Shadow Ball and Thunder Punch. Thunder Punch is meant for Skarmory. Shadow Ball is meant for everything else. Thunder Punch does do really well against Azumarill. It is a nice little tank too because it has 140 HP. This is the best one I found for trading. I could find better ones, but it doesn't have these legacy moves, which is Psyshock and Shadow Ball. This is a great Pokemon to start off for switching. People have been using the Shadow Hypno because Shadow Hypno with Confusion hits pretty hard, and it does last longer for a Shadow type Pokemon. I just haven't used it to be honest, but I have just whooped his ass every time it comes in. You just have to watch out because the Confusion will burn you down. So Deoxys, defense form, only defense form. Other forms are useless. Counter, Rock Slide, and Psycho Boost. Psycho Boost is an asshole move because ugh, it takes very little energy to use, and it just hits you really hard, and they just run away afterwards. I hate it so much. I hate you. If you use this, I freaking hate you because I got my ass kicked so many times with Psycho Boost. Ugh, because like, you just don't know what they're gonna use. Rock Slide or Psycho Boost. You know, when Psycho Boost comes in, just like poof, it hits you really fast and hard. Good luck if you found a good defense form. This is the best one I found. I need to do more raids. Alright, next up is Abomasnow. Abomasnow recently got snowy weather attack. I forgot what it's called already. But it has ice and grass type attack, which, you know, does a lot of damage. It's good. It does a lot of damage. It covers a lot of ground. But it's weak to a lot of different types of Pokemon. So I don't want to use this. I don't see the strength in it. But you know, people have been using it a lot more, so expect that. The biggest thing you really have to worry about is like fighting type Pokemon, and if you're fighting me, I'm gonna be using a Sludge Wave against it. And I've taken down a lot of Abomasnow against the odds with Sludge Wave. People don't expect it, but if you do use it, expect the Sludge Wave if you're fighting a Toxicroak or a Swampert, for me at least. And I know a lot of people, you know, complaining like, Tong, I don't have all the best metas, you know? Well, you know, here's a nice little alter like side meta right here, which is a Lantern. Lantern is great because it has a lot of HP, it can take the hits. Its only weakness is ground and grass. The biggest downfall from Lantern is that it only knows like big attacks. Thunderbolt, Thunder, and Hydro Pump. So that's like the biggest problem. So, you know, if you have a good Lantern, use that for a little bit. I prefer Spark for fasting, by the way. Some people use Charge Beam, but Spark does more damage, it's faster, and it gives more energy. So, it's up to you though. Yeah, that's right. This is a fucking long video. I'm going through everything. This is everything you guys need to know. I'm getting a little tired, to be honest. I'm gonna be moving kind of fast now. Oh my god. Okay, so moving fast. Cherrim is a. I fucking hate you if you use Cherrim, because Razor Leaf with Weather Ball, oh my god, charges up so fast. It covers a lot of ground. I hate you so much if you use this. I hate you, Cherrim. Yeah. Weather Ball and it just charges really fast, and just like, oh gosh, like a little Spitfire. It's good against the anti-Skarmory for sure, anti-ground and water. It does a lot of damage to Azumarill. Yeah, it's just a little bitch. Shadow Mawile. People been using this. I have not powered mine up, but people been using this for like an anti-Skarmory. They normally use this with Fire Fang, Power Punch. Next up, Registeel. This is not mine. I hate Registeel. I refuse to use it. Hate it so much. I don't want to use it, alright? But this is my friend Modi. He sent me a screenshot. Lock on, Flash Cannon, and Focus Blast. The most annoying team that you will face: Registeel, Azumarill, Altaria. If you don't start off with a Zap counter against it, you're not gonna last. Because they're all tanks, they all cover a lot of ground. I just hate it so much, I refuse to use it. If you use that team, Altaria, Azumarill, and Registeel, you can get up to level 8 really fast. Even if you're a noob, just use those 3 and you'll be fine. I hate you if you use it, because that's the most annoying team in the game. So the reason why I hate this team is because for a little while, it was like 50% of the Great League battles, and everyone just used it. It just got really boring, and I know that Registeel is always in the back, so I always save like a Toxicroak. I always start off with Swampert and Toxicroak with a Skarmory. In fact, that's the reason why I have this team, and I still use it. So I came up with my favorite team because of this is Swampert, Toxicroak, and Skarmory, because those are like the best Pokemon to counter against, you know, those Pokemon. I don't know why. Registeel is just like the biggest troll at the end of the team when you have no more shields left and you don't have a fighting type or a ground type. You're just gonna lose to a Registeel. Yeah. Alrighty, we're done. I have not covered every single Great League meta. There's so much more, but that will give you a good boost. I know this is a long video. I wanted to cover everything so you guys, all new players, will learn this. But let me know down in the comments below, what's your favorite team? What is like your go-to meta that you use for PvP? Did I miss anyone that is like worth mentioning? And thanks for watching my video. If this video helped you guys out, definitely hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for all things related to Pokemon Go news, tips, tricks, and vlogs, and hot sauce, aka the last hot sauce. I'm Tom. I'll see you guys all next one, alright? Long video. Peace.